What are some good horror movies with no jump scares? Misery. The Original Wicker Man. The Innocents. 1961. The Haunting. 1963. Rosemary's Baby. 1968. Halloween. It doesn't build its atmosphere on stupid jump scares, but creates suspense with its brilliant score instead. A must-watch classic. 10 out of 10. Eraserhead. Christine. I really want to say Silence of the Lambs, but there's one jump scare toward the end. Perfect Blue. I'm ambivalent towards anime and have short-term memory. But this on still sticks with me 1 year after seeing it. Edit. Whoa. This blew up. I was super drunk and don't remember writing this. So I panicked when I saw 18 unread messages in my inbox. So glad it wasn't because I said anything controversial. Buried. With Ryan Reynolds. Admittedly, I haven't seen it since the premiere in 2009, but the entire movie is set inside a coffin, so there's no much chance for a jump scare. So I'm just guessing here. But afterward I felt anxious and claustrophobic as hell, even in a huge theater at Sundance. Upside was Ryan was there and talked us all through it afterward. Lol. Super intense movie. The Wailing. It's a time investment. But incredible. The V-Vitch. Funny Games. I've only seen the remake, but as far as I know it's basically exactly the same as the original with different actors. No jump scares. It's just completely fucked up. Highly recommend. Coraline. 2009. That was scary as shit. The Blair Witch Project. Nothing freaking happens, but the suspense was killing me. Annihilation. It's all about the suspense and being creepy. ITT. Movies that have jump scares. But it's okay. It's only a couple. Night of the Living Dead is an absolute classic of the genre for a reason. The zombies are slow. There's no big jump scares even when events are progressing rapidly. You're not supposed to look away. It's very much a dread and disgust-centered horror, rather than some cheesy startle fest. Generally this applies to all of the Romero zombie films. But Day of the Dead does have 1 or 2 jump scares, and I can't vouch for the ones after Land of the Dead, which is also excellent. Good luck finding the original Dawn of the Dead. The remake has fast zombies, jump scares, and is overall a lot more generic emo. The Others. The Green Room. I love that movie so much. So weird seeing Patrick Stewart as a neo-Nazi though. Suspiria. The 2018 remake is just that kind of unsettling movie where everything seems so strange, so dense, and dark that it makes up for a good horror movie. Lake Mungo. It has one very small moment that could barely be described as a jump scare. But it's otherwise a very haunting film that I don't think gets talked about enough. Also Oculus by Mike Flanagan. Fantastic horror that's very chilling without any jumps and minimal violence. 1408. The Shining has only 1 or 2 I can remember, and that movie's phenomenal. It's a bit dated now and probably not the type of movie that gets associated with horror anymore given its legacies, but the original Gojira played up the introduction and the concept of the monster very well before its reveal, and then even afterwards there's other kinds of horror in the weight that the movie gives to the destruction. And on the note of movies that are horrifying in their themes and how they portray them but not necessarily a horror film themselves. When the Wind Blows is an almost haunting and a certainly depressing portrayal of an elderly couple succumbing to the effects of radiation poisoning while carrying on thinking they were safe. Sorry, both these share a nuclear theme. The Fourth Kind. I don't think there were any jump scares that I can remember. First movie in a long time where I was like, I'm sleeping with the lights on tonight, fuck that shit. Look for cosmic horror, Lovecraftian horror. Void. Color Out of Space. Annihilation. A Quiet Place. Bird Box. The Ritual. Event Horizon. The Cloverfield Paradox. Some have jump scares. But it's more about the looming terror and the fear of the unknown, uncanny. Edit. Name correction. Exorcism of Emily Rose. There were no sudden pop-ups of ghost, but the movie was scary enough for me. John Carpenter's The Thing. The Lighthouse. And Midsommar. 2 of my favorites right now. Willem Dafoe plays the surliest, drunkest old lighthouse worker, sailor I've ever seen. Saw 1. Graphic. Bloody. No jump scares. 0. I hate jump scares so much. If you don't like jump scares, check out www. Where's the jump? Com. It sorts horror movies by the amount of jump scares and tells you where they are in the movie. The Changeling, 1986. Hereditary. Maybe 1 or 2 jump scares, but that whole movie is terrifying in an I am laying in bed and I can hear muttering outside the window kind of way. The whole last part just had me chilled. The Haunting of Hill House Netflix show. One big jump scare in episode 8 in a car. It's really a good ghost story. It Follows. Edit. Wow, this is my most upvoted comment. Thanks for the awards. Candyman. It scared the daylights out of me as a kid. And still does now. I don't think there are any real jump scares. But it's just a well-made, scary-ass movie. 1408. John Cusack. Samuel L. Jackson and an evil fucking room. I can't believe that room didn't win an Oscar. Edit. We've only just begun. Muppets Take Manhattan. Put yourself in Kermit's shoes. He's got mouths to feed. A lot of them. And all they got is some theater skills. They're trying to make it big during the cocaine heydays of the mid-80s. They have no money, no food, nothing. And they're just Muppets trying to make it in the human world. It's a cold, cruel world where they could just get killed and here's no repercussions and no one would remember them the next day. Horrifying situation to be in. A nightmare wrapped in plastic gift wrapping. The original Exorcist has maybe like 2 jump scares. It's an incredibly good movie, especially for its time. Personally, I think The Exorcist is still one of the best horror movies of all time. Maybe even the best horror movie about possession. Most of the Junji Ito short stories on Crunchyroll have no jump scares. They are more psychological, like Black Mirror. If you've seen it. They all mostly explore 1 or 2 unsettling topics per 10 to 15 minute short. It's also free to watch on Crunchyroll with ads. Not sure if Hush has any jump scares. But you should check it out, it's pretty scary. Office Space. Vivarium is pretty cool. Creepy. I think it's on Prime. Perfect Blue. 1997. Amazing psychological thriller. Not exactly a horror movie. But I would highly recommend Parasite. It's a scary movie. And very, very good. The Witch. Let Me In. A minor jump scare or 2 but nothing too bad. Get Out. The Orphanage. Granted. There is a jump scare or 2. But it's mostly a suspense thriller with a supernatural twist. I heard from a lot of people that they didn't find it scary. But the Babadook took me off guard somehow. I was terrified lol. But I don't know if some of the scenes already qualify as jump scares. Same with the original IT. Hide and Seek. 2005. Maybe as an option too. Not classic horror but pretty disturbing. Requiem for a Dream. And Misery. Edit. And maybe Signs. 2002. Is 1 Hour Photo considered a horror? Or just thriller? That came to mind. Come and See. The Last Airbender movie. That thing is a horror to watch. I can't remember if The Exorcist does or not. I know it has the subliminal flashes that freak me the fuck out. But I don't think there's any actual jumps. It's a movie that has aged fabulously. And still probably my favorite demon possession movie. Also, fun fact about the movie. There's a real-life serial killer in it. He's an extra in one of the hospital scenes. But yeah, he's killed at least 6 people. I'm honestly unsure. Even the greatest horror movies, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, have jump scares. But the important difference, in my opinion, is whether or not such movies are dependent on the jump scares. TCM isn't dependent on them. Other movies, like The Conjuring 2, are. There are a few movies that are underrepresented here. But pretty good. Most of the A-list horror films are covered. But if you want some A to B+ that are light on jump scares, The Mist. Movie. Not TV show based on the Stephen King book. Creep. Train to Busan. The best zombie movie to come out in the last 10 years. Resolution. The Blackcoat's Daughter. Krampus. If you like horror comedy hybrids, this is brilliant. The Wailing. It's a Korean movie about a police officer who tries to solve the weird murders in his village. Midsommar and The Invitation. Both really good slow burners. No jump scares from memory, but you'll be balls deep in tension for both of them. The Omen. If you haven't watched it, Watch it. It stars Gregory Peck and it's about him adopting. I loved Hellraiser, Us, Bird Box, Get Out, Donnie Darko, Misery, The Shining. I love Shutter Island, but I think that's a thriller, not a horror. I would say 7. People can argue if there's jump scares, but I personally don't see any in the movie. But damn, it's scary. Split. It has one when Casey is hiding in the locker. But it is one of my favorite movies of all time, and McAvoy's performance should win him every Oscar out there.